It's me, Kinghuman, listen up. Watch this entire video. It may teach you something, and I'm going to go in a lot of different directions here, so pay attention and stay with me the whole time. Okay, what's doing? What's doing is, I was listening to the radio the other day, and there was an interview with a guy who is becoming wealthy. He was a zero, and now he's becoming wealthy. And what's he doing? He is clearing houses for hoarders. You know, these guys that accumulate so much crap in their house, it reaches the roof, you can't even walk in. You know, but the thing that amazed me about his business is he gets 15 grand per house to clear it out. Now, to me, that's amazing money. Amazing money. I mean, think about that money, 15 grand per house. Now, I've heard about clearing houses or clearing garages before. I mean, this is nothing new. But this is the first time I've heard people being able to get 15 grand per house for doing it. That's huge. So one house a month gets you 15 grand a month. 2 houses a month, you do the math, 30 grand a month, and so on and so on. Now, the guy went on to say it's a really great business because there's a low barrier to entry. You know, all he started with was a telephone and some advertising in the local media. So newspapers, television, whatever, you know, radio, whatever. We ran a few ads. And then when he got his first contract, he just went out and hired day labor, cheap day labor. Now, he said he likes to employ ex-cons. He's had good, you know, he's been doing this a while now, and he's a pretty good success. He hires ex-cons. He says he has great success with that. But, you know, very simple offline business. Very simple business structure. I mean, you know, investigate it. If it's interesting to you, do your due diligence, you know, get insurance, things like that. You know, you're going to have to get a roll-off, and you're going to have to check into dump fees and things like that. But, you know, I see this as a high-profit service business that has huge potential. I don't know if it would work for you. I don't know you from a can of Spam. I don't know your area. I don't know. It's up to you to research it. But here's the thing. Here's where it became interesting to me. I have a friend who is looking for opportunities, and so I mentioned this to him. And his eyes got really big, and he's, you know, I could see he was getting excited when I was talking about the money and the ease of the operation and all that stuff. And then just a little while later, after I stopped talking, you could see his expression turn blank again. And he just, you know, I could, what's going on, man? Well, it's not going to work. I know it wouldn't work. Blah, blah, blah. All this self-limiting bullshit bubbled back up to the surface. He was all excited. He wanted to do something, but his self-limiting programming came right up to the surface and paralyzed him out of taking any kind of action. Now that's amazing. It amazes me that that exists, but I see it all the time. And this is why I talk to you guys time and time again about getting your head right, getting out of the matrix, you know, fighting the programming. All this self-limiting stuff is paralyzing. I know, I was there. And the minute I stopped limiting myself, the minute I stopped handcuffing myself, the minute I was ready and able and willing to take some risks and invest in myself, things started to explode. I mean, I was always an entrepreneur as a kid. Always. Ever since high school. You know, I had pinball machines, blah, blah, blah. You've probably heard me talk about all those stories before. But, you know, the thing is, I never gave up on myself. You know, and some of you guys do. And that, to me, is a crime. To see you guys just throw up your hands and say, well, I'm going to go get a job at McDonald's, or I'm going to go. That's fine. If you need a paycheck and you need that steady thing, but in your free time, invest in yourself and make sure to do it with an open mind. You have to take risks. You have to invest in yourself. you have to recognize self-limiting behavior when it pops up, because that's a programming that's been put inside you from birth. So when that comes and you start saying, oh, it'll never work. You know, here's the phrase that makes me crazy, and I hear it so many times. Oh, well, if that worked, everybody would do it. Oh, God, that makes me so insane. You know how many times I've heard that? And I've even heard it, and I've done a case study where, you know, somebody said, oh, well, if that would work, everybody would do it. And I go, okay, watch this. And I actually did it. It was about an ebook thing, if you want to know the specifics. I go, okay, I'll write an ebook on this topic. And sure enough, I was making big bank with that. That was back in the eBay days. But it was a typical idiot that baited me into that. Oh, well, if that would work, everybody would do it. So self-limiting, so paralyzing, so idiotic. If you catch yourself saying things like that to yourself, you really need to punch yourself in the face and wake yourself up, because that's going to keep you down. You're your own worst enemy there. You're keeping yourself down. But anyway, okay, you know, you have to, here's the things that you have to do to be a success. You have to invest in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to follow through, and you have to never give up on yourself. I don't care if you fail a million times. You only have to succeed once, right? So anyway, that's my pep talk. Now, as far as the cleanup business goes, it's something, if it sounds good to you, look into it. Do a Google search. Do your due diligence. That's the other thing. You know, so many of you guys, you hear a good business concept, but you don't really know how to follow through on it. Well, here's my suggestion. Take that business concept and expand on it through a bunch of Google searches. Break that business concept into an outline. Things you think you may need. For instance, do I need a business license? It depends on where you live. Do I need, you know, what are the dump fees going to be? Do I need roll-offs? Do I need insurance? You know, all of these different things, and then do a Google search on every one of those topics. When you feel you've got enough information, you try it and you go into it and see what happens. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But you've tried, and then you go on to the next thing and the next thing. And eventually when something happens for you and you start making money and you start getting validation, wow, I really can do this for myself, then things really start to explode. So there it is. You know, I don't know, like I say, I don't know if this clearing houses thing is something for you or not. But it's something to think about, because I'll tell you, I was so surprised at how much money is in it these days. Phew, big money. What else is doing? I'm forgetting now. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say was I forgot to make a video, because every month I wanted to make a video telling you guys what's in the money pages on my website, thekinghumanelite.com, and I forgot to make one this month. So off the top of my head, I'm not sitting in front of my computer, obviously, so I can't pull it up, but I can remember what I went into. I went into email marketing a lot, and I did a case study where I set up a squeeze page, and I showed the initial amount of subscribers I got on that squeeze page. And I gave some other courses on email marketing. Now remember, email marketing is one of the things I do, and one of the ways I make money on demand from anywhere in the world. So as an example, let's say you have a list of 4,000 people, which is not hard to do. It's not hard to get a list of 4,000 people. And I send out an offer on a product that's a $40 product, and I get a 1% opt-in rate. I get a 1% conversion rate. In other words, 1% of the people I send out that email to buy the product. I'm going to make $1,600 every time I send out that email, and I can send it out as many times as I want. So anyway, that's one of the things I was teaching in this month's money pages. The other thing, and I'm going to expand on that in November's money pages, along with other things like social media, and I got so many things planned. The other thing I gave away in the October money pages was 10 pre-configured blogs that are monetized. They're set up, optimized, and monetized for ClickBank products. In other words, you just plug in your ClickBank affiliate IDs. Beautiful blogs. It's definitely worth $500, because not only do I give you the blogs, which are worth at least $25 a piece, but I give you the right to resell those blogs to people that are looking to get into business. And it's a hungry market. People want to get into business, they don't know how to do it. So I not only gave you the blogs, but I gave you the right to resell those blogs as your own product. And I know somebody that sells blogs. She sells them for $25 a piece. She makes bank. So anyway, there it is. If there's space available on the KinghumanElite.com, you might want to consider joining. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not pushing it on you. I'm just saying it's there. It's not a magical get-rich-quick, money's going to fall from the sky. It's an educational system. But I also give you a lot of free assets that you can resell as your own, and that's meant to get you experience and get you going. It's going to take you a while before you make money. But you will do it if you don't give up on yourself. All right. All right, guys. Maximum respect. Sayonara. And donate a few bucks to help us a kid at St. Jude's Research Hospital for Kids. What could be better?